My name is Ken Nixon. Our farm name is Ain Lee Farms Incorporated. We're located halfway between Arva and Ilderton, basically about a mile and a half north of the city limits of London. Our family has been here since the 1820s. I farm with my father George and my brother Kevin, and we had livestock up until the early 70s, and have been cash croppers essentially ever since.
Why does strip-till matter to you, and why do you think more farmers in the province should take time to learn about it for their operations?
So a lot of people have adopted for sure in, say, a corn, soy, wheat rotation, no-till wheat after soybeans or dry beans, no-till beans into corn stalks. But it was where we struggled as well, was how do you get back out of wheat stubble and back into corn without some sort of, tillage, some sort of tillage pass. No-till corn, and especially the heavier the soil type gets, can be kind of challenging, and especially if you get a wet spring, and especially if your drainage is maybe not quite up to snuff. But you essentially reset your soil back to almost ground zero. You've made a little bit of progress as far as getting better soil aggregation or aggregate stability and better infiltration, and a lot of those things that you start to see after the 2 years, and holding equipment up, and just a lot of those great things. And then all of a sudden, a lot of us think that rotational tillage isn't really doing a lot of bad. We got 2 out of 3 years, of no-till. I mean, it's got to be a good thing, and I'm not saying it isn't. But once you get that third year, where you have essentially completing the trifecta, where you leave most of the soil surface completely undisturbed, that's when you really start to make progress. And so that's where I guess I would suggest that if people are into that 2 years of no-till with a third year of rotational tillage, if they really want to consider strip-till, that will kind of complete the trifecta, and I think that's when they'll really start to see soil improvement really start to accelerate.
So Ken, going back in your shoes, you guys were earlier adopters for strip-till. Just curious what advice you would make to a grower who's kind of where you guys were 15 years ago, thinking about making that jump into strip-till.
I'll share what my brother often says about situations like that. And he says, whether or not you think this will work, you're probably right. So it's probably the first obstacle is mental. Telling yourself that we're gonna step into this, we're gonna have an open mind, and we're gonna try to solve problems as they appear. And the thing is, there will be problems. So too often I've heard that phrase, systems approach, and that bothers me, or it's overused, and it's kind of an academic term, right? So really what systems approach means to me is, this is not a fused panel where you just reach in and pluck out tillage and insert no-till or strip-till, and everything else remains the same and you carry on. You are going to pluck out that one fuse and insert a different style of tillage, but a biological system is 1,000 moving parts, and there's a whole lot of other things that are going to start changing because you've changed your tillage system. And you just got to have, first of all, you got to understand that other things are going to change. And quite frankly, there's a few things that especially if you talk to some people that maybe made that jump before you, you can anticipate some of those things. And so, for example, not leaving ruts in the field in the fall, or not leaving, doing a better job of distributing your residue in the fall, and those sorts of things. If those are some of the things that in broad full width tillage didn't really bother you, but all of a sudden can be very egregious, or can be hard obstacles. So that's what I'd say to people is anticipate change and be willing to roll with the punches as they come. When I budget, when I'm doing a crop budget, kind of we're on an enterprise sort of way we pencil things out. It's not what you gross on a piece of property, or on a farm or on a crop. It's how much you keep at the end of the day. So again, that's very much that's what drives us. So sometimes in our tillage system, I'm not going to lie or say that this will increase your yields. It in fact may not. But the thing is, if your costs are going down faster than your revenue, your revenue may slip a few bucks, but if your costs are going down faster, that's where I want to be, is because you got less, or you got more jingle in your pocket at the end of the year.